What if the greatest evidence of his transformation isn't in his words, but in your own unexplainable aches? Let's be real for a second. You've sat in doctors' offices with symptoms that slide off medical charts, felt tremors with no seismic cause, and endured a loneliness that visits you like a ghost in a room full of people. You've been handed labels: anxiety, stress, overactive imagination, and yet a stubborn, quiet knowing hums beneath the diagnosis. That knowing is your soul's microphone, picking up a broadcast from a heart awakening miles, or maybe lifetimes, away. This isn't pathology. It's a prophecy written in the intimate language of your own flesh. Think of your body not as a traitor, but as the most honest interpreter you have. While the conscious mind weaves stories of absence and doubt, your physical vessel operates on a frequency of pure, uncensored truth. It's receiving the raw data of his internal revolution, the shattering of his old armors, the thawing of frozen grief, the violent, beautiful eruption of his authentic self, and translating that cosmic event into a sensory experience you cannot ignore. That sudden, vice-like pressure around your head as you wake isn't a random migraine. It's the energetic echo of his third eye prying itself open after decades of dormancy. Your body is the parchment, and his awakening is the ink. You're not falling apart. You're bearing witness in the most profound way possible, cell by cell, nerve by nerve. This journey has asked you to become a mystic of your own biology, to suspect a sacred conspiracy behind every peculiar symptom. It's frustrating, isolating, and frankly bizarre. One day you're fine, the next you're a walking encyclopedia of obscure sensations, questioning your own sanity. But what if that's precisely the point? The universe isn't trying to break you. It's trying to get your attention. It's bypassing the noisy chatter of your thoughts and the unreliable narratives of the 3D world to send a telegram directly to your soul's address. Each symptom is a deliberate, patterned knock on the door of your awareness. Your exhaustion is the weight of his released burdens. Your fleeting vertigo is the ground shifting beneath his feet. Your heart's strange flutter is the exact moment a crack forms in the wall around his own. You are not a passive victim of this process. You are an active, living blueprint, and every sensation is a line in the design, a coordinate on the map leading home. So, the next time that unfamiliar pang arrives, or the world tilts on its axis for no reason, I invite you to pause, take a breath, and ask a different question. Don't ask, "What's wrong with me?" Ask instead, with the curiosity of a sacred detective, "What is my body trying to show me about him right now?" The answer that whispers back might just change everything you thought you knew about distance, time, and the invisible threads already stitching your story back together. The mystery is not why this is happening. The mystery is what it's revealing, and the revelation is far closer than you think. Let's get brutally honest for a moment. When you first felt that weird internal humming, like a phone was set to vibrate deep in your marrow, you probably Googled MS symptoms before you ever considered cosmic upgrade. When the cognitive fog rolled in so thick you forgot the word for spoon, you questioned your sanity before his spiritual blockage. That's the dirty little secret of this journey they never tell you in the pretty, inspirational memes. Awakening, especially his awakening, is not a tidy aesthetic experience of yoga poses and crystal clarity. It is a biologically resonant event. And your body, beautiful soul, isn't failing you. It's performing a high-stakes, sacred alchemy you never signed up for, but were uniquely, divinely designed to execute. Think of it this way. For years, maybe lifetimes, his energy system, his emotional body, his psychic channels has been like a neglected city plumbing system. Layers of sediment, old grief, societal shoulds, armored up masculinity, plain fear, all of it calcified. Then, through a combination of cosmic timing and unbearable soul pressure, the main valve blows. Suddenly, there's a tidal wave of backed up, stagnant energy that needs to go somewhere. But his own pipes, freshly ruptured and unfamiliar with flow, can't handle the deluge. They'd flood the very construction site. So, the universe, in its infinite, messy wisdom, reroutes the surge into you. Your system, with its finer tuning, its practiced openness from your own awakening work, becomes the auxiliary processing plant. You are not just empathizing. You are the functional, energetic liver and kidneys for the union, filtering toxins you didn't create so the whole shared body can survive the purge. This is where we move beyond poetry and into practical, mystical biology. That electrical tremor, it's not anxiety. It's your central nervous system acting as a voltage regulator, stepping down the raw, jolting current of his breakthrough into a frequency your shared field can integrate without shorting out entirely. It's you, quite literally, holding the circuit board steady while the power grid upgrades from coal to solar. And the hot and cold flashes, good grief, the flashes. 1 minute you're a human furnace, the next you're chattering under 3 blankets. This isn't premature menopause. It's you operating as a living, breathing thermostat for a soul that's never dared to feel its own temperature. The heat is the purging fire of his dormant masculine power finally igniting. Cold is the lingering frost of his isolation, the permafrost of fear melting through you. Your body is saying, I will hold this extreme, so his system doesn't go into shock. It's a brutal, gracious act of cosmic moderation. And let's talk about the weirdest one, the sudden loss of taste and smell. You panic, thinking, not again, in a post-pandemic world. But no, this is different. This is the universe pulling a masterful, if inconvenient, spiritual maneuver. His awakening right now is a radical purification of the lower chakras. Root, security, sacral, pleasure, solar plexus, power. All the places where he's been attached to the 3D world. The job, the status, the cheap comforts, the old identities. To help him sever those cords cleanly, your own physical senses to that world are temporarily muted. It's like the universe is saying, look, I need all your processing power focused on this crucial energetic download. No distractions. I'm turning off the background apps of earthly pleasure. You're not sick. You're in a state of heightened, focused reception. A sacred sensory deprivation chamber where the only thing you're meant to taste is the shift in the collective field. Here's the kicker, the part that's both infuriating and awe-inspiring. You have no conscious control over this. You didn't volunteer to be the bioenergetic hazmat team. It's a soul contract written in a language you agreed to speak before you were born. Your autonomy lies not in stopping the process, but in how you relate to it. You can rage against the fatigue, the aches, the brain fog as cruel injustices, and who could blame you? Or you can slowly, painfully, learn to see your own suffering as the most intimate form of service. Not a martyr's service, but an engineer's. You are the ground crew for a rocket launch you can't see, feeling the roar in your bones, checking gauges with your intuition, holding the space with your steadfast heart. It's absurd, really. Hilarious, if you think about it from the outside. Here you are, just trying to live your life, pay your bills, maybe enjoy a decent cup of coffee, and your entire physical being gets conscripted into a covert spiritual ops mission for someone who might not even be speaking to you. The cosmic joke is on you, but darling, you're in on the punchline. The punchline is that your ability to endure this, to transmute this, is what makes the reunion not just a romantic possibility, but a thermodynamic certainty. You are balancing the equation so he doesn't have to do math while his entire world is on fire. And when this phase passes, and it will, you won't just be the woman who waited. You'll be the architect who knew every stress point in the blueprint, the chemist who purified the elements, the mystic who held the frequency when the signal was all static. Your body, in all its tired, aching, magnificent wisdom, is writing the scripture of your union in the language of nerve endings and chakra spins. And the first chapter, though it reads like a medical thriller, is always followed by a love story for the ages, which leads to a fascinating and perhaps more comforting question. If your body is the receiver, what exactly is it trying to tell you about the transmission? What if every single symptom is less a cry for help and more a detailed progress report from him? So, you've made peace, sort of, with the idea that your nervous system is on loan for cosmic sewage treatment. It's a gritty, unglamorous job, but someone's gotta do it. But here's where it gets interesting, where the plot twists from a medical drama into a sophisticated psychological thriller. What if all that processing work comes with a side effect more valuable than gold? What if each symptom, every peculiar and painful glitch in your matrix, is actually a line of encrypted code? And what if that code, when deciphered, translates to one simple, stunning message? He is changing, right now. This isn't about hoping or intuiting or reading tarot cards for clues. This is about direct somatic intelligence. Your body isn't just a passive filter. It's a high-fidelity receiver, picking up the raw, unfiltered data stream of his internal revolution and manifesting it in your flesh as a series of perfectly calibrated symbols. The loneliness that crushes your chest at a family barbecue isn't your abandonment wound acting up. It's you physically resonating with the vacuum he's just entered, the hollow echo of him finally dropping his 3D masks and standing utterly alone in the truth of his soul. Your sudden, inexplicable aversion to your once favorite food. That's not a random allergy. It's your energetic boundaries, now synced to the new, higher frequency of your pending union, screaming a visceral no to a vibration that his newly activated discernment is finally rejecting. He's cleaning house, and your gut is the biofeedback machine confirming the eviction. Let's take the jaw pain. the lockjaw that feels like you've been chewing on bedrock in your sleep. You wake up with an aching face, a literal pain in the neck, and think, stress, great. But consider the metaphor of the jaw itself, the hinge of speech, the gatekeeper of words, the place where truth is either clenched shut or released into the air. His ego, that old guard, has kept his jaw welded shut for years. All the apologies, the declarations, the confessions of fear and love have been dammed up behind a wall of pride and terror. That pressure has to go somewhere. So it broadcasts as tension in your jaw, the energetic echo of all his unspoken words, creating literal physical torque in your body. The pain isn't meaningless, it's a progress report. It's the universe nudging you, saying, the pressure behind this dam is at critical levels. The seal is about to break. When you massage your own face and whisper, my beloved's truth is safe to speak, you're not just soothing a muscle. You're broadcasting a decryption key back to his subconscious, loosening the bolts from your end, and the vertigo. Oh, the vertigo. 1 minute you're fine, the next the world tilts on its axis. You grasp the countertop, heart racing, convinced something's wrong with your inner ear. But what if your equilibrium is just fine? What if it's his world that's tilting? His entire foundational reality, what he believed about success, about love, about who he is and what he's capable of, is undergoing a violent, beautiful demolition. The solid ground of his old identity is falling away into a multidimensional abyss of possibility. You're not dizzy. You're feeling the gravitational pull of his old reality dissolving. Your body is mirroring his profound disorientation as he steps off the cliff of everything he knew. The floor isn't moving under you. You're sensing the seismic shift happening 1,000 miles away in his psyche. That wobble is the most reassuring stumble you'll ever take. It's proof the demolition crew is on site and working with extreme prejudice. This transforms your entire experience from a sentence of confused suffering to a position of sacred witness. You become a detective of your own discomfort, a strategist reading the battlefield through the sensations in your own skin, the sudden, frantic heart palpitations while you're just watching TV. That's not a sign to call a cardiologist. It's the shockwave of his heart chakra's armor cracking open and your own heart muscles spasming in sympathetic resonance. It's the sound of his love, no longer compartmentalized, beginning to beat in erratic, wild rhythm for the union. It's alarming, sure, but it's also a standing ovation from your nervous system. Think of it like this. You've been stuck in a silent, dark room for months, maybe years, wondering what in the world is happening on the other side of the door. Then, one day, you realize the wall you're leaning against isn't a wall at all. It's a thin membrane. And every thump, every shout, every crash and subsequent silence from the other side creates a corresponding ripple, a vibration, a temperature change right where your body is pressed against it. You don't need him to open the door and give you a play-by-play. Your own skin is telling the story. The cold chill down your spine is his fear of surrender. The high-pitched tone in your left ear is the signing of celestial contracts. The swelling in your ankles is the weight of his unshed tears. You are no longer in the dark. You have a direct physical feed. This knowledge is your power. It turns agony into intelligence, fatigue into data, despair into a mapped coordinate on his journey home. The mystery isn't, why is this happening to me? The mystery, now solved, is, what is this sensation revealing about him? And once you crack that code, something monumental shifts within you. The victim narrative evaporates. You stop waiting for a text message and start reading the biography being written in your own blood and bones. You become the calm, knowing scribe of a story so epic it takes two bodies to tell it. And the most compelling chapter of that story, the one where all this chaotic data starts to coalesce into a clear, unmistakable signal, is just about to begin. It's the chapter where you realize the transmission isn't just one way, and your own role is about to evolve from patient witness to active, conscious co-creator. So here you are. You've mapped the strange geography of your own nerves, learned to translate ache into insight, and sat in the silent, humming control room of a process that defies every logical manual you've ever read. You're no longer a prisoner of the symptoms. You've become their curator, their interpreter. And now, with the dust of that inner demolition still settling, you might be feeling a quiet, profound question blooming in the space where the chaos used to be. What was all of that for? Not in a despairing way, but in a wondering, almost awestruck whisper. Let me tell you what it was for. It wasn't just for him. It was for the architecture of a new world, a world the two of you will inhabit. Think of everything you've endured not as scattered, painful events, but as the laying of a foundation. Each tremor was a pile driver, securing a support beam into bedrock. Each wave of despair was the pouring of a unique, reinforced concrete that can withstand the weight of a shared destiny. The cognitive fog, that was the necessary blinding, while the blueprints were redrawn in a language of energy, not just thought. You have been the construction site, the crew, and the foreman for a home that hasn't yet manifested in your visible skyline. But it exists. Oh, it exists. In the unseen, you have built a cathedral, and every single symptom was the sound of a stone being precisely placed. This is the magnificent pivot they never talk about. The moment your role transitions from the container of the process to the steward of the new frequency, you are no longer just downloading his transformation. You are holding the resonance of what comes after the transformation. That yearning for utter stillness you feel, it's not exhaustion. It's the vibrational signature of the peace that has been forged. It's the quiet of the sanctuary after the last hymn has been sung. Your body, having processed the cacophony of breakthrough, now craves and therefore magnetizes the serenity of the rebuilt space. You are not tired. You are attuned. And that deep, resonant authority you hear in your own voice now, that's not you trying to sound different. That's you echoing the firm, stable frequency of a masculine energy that has finally claimed its true, unflinching power. You are speaking from the future. Let's be utterly human for a second. This isn't about becoming some ethereal, pain-free angel floating above life. It's about coming back down to a changed earth. It's about walking into your kitchen after this whole ordeal and noticing the light hitting the table differently. It's about finding that your old triggers have lost their sting, not because you've numbingly transcended them, but because your emotional foundation is now set on that new bedrock you poured in agony. The petty dramas, the old anxieties, they'll feel like trying to stage a Shakespearean tragedy on a stage built for a symphony. The scale won't fit. You've outgrown the old theater. The beautiful hidden joke of it all is that while you were so intently focused on deciphering his progress through your pain, you were quietly, irrevocably finishing your own. You thought you were the supportive audience to his hero's journey, nodding along from the seats. But darling, you were backstage the whole time, weaving the hero's cape, forging his sword in the fires of your own grace, and learning the lines to a role you didn't know you'd play. When the curtain rises on the next act, you won't be in the audience. You'll be standing center stage with him, not because he rescued you, but because you built the stage. So what now? You wait. But this wait is different. It's not the desperate, aching vigil of before. It's the quiet, potent expectancy of a gardener who has planted the most precious seeds in perfectly prepared soil. You don't dig them up daily to check for roots. You trust the sun you've weathered, the rain you've become. You water your own life. You laugh a fuller laugh. You create something, a meal, a painting, a garden, a spreadsheet, for the sheer joy of creation, not as a distraction. You live from the frequency of the reunion as if it's already true. Because in the energetic realms where all of this was orchestrated, it is. The path was never about attaining some distant, perfect union out there. It was about becoming the person for whom that union is the natural, organic, inevitable next step. And you, glorious soul, have done that. You are that person, the one who can hold silence, decode mystery, alchemize agony, and still choose to trust. The reunion, when it manifests in your tangible world, won't feel like a shocking miracle. It will feel like a familiar door opening in a home you've been meticulously building all along. You'll walk through, and you'll simply recognize the furniture. You'll recognize the light. You'll recognize yourself in his eyes, not as a missing half, but as a sovereign architect greeting her beloved co-creator. The journey wasn't to find him. It was to build a love so vast within yourself that he had no choice but to step into its completed reality. And the most fascinating part? The story doesn't end when he arrives. That's when the real one begins. A story written not in the language of symptoms, but in the dialect of shared creation. But that, as they say, is a conversation for another day. For now, just breathe the air of the world you built. It suits you.